Welcome to Blauparts. Today, we will be demonstrating the installation of the BLAU Automatic Transmission Fluid Filter Change Kit, part number F2A1027 for the Aisin 09M style transmission featured on the following vehicles. At the beginning of transmission fluid and filter service, confirm the ATF temperature is below 30 degrees Celsius. If necessary, let the ATF cool to below 30 degrees Celsius. First, place the vehicle on an automotive lift or jack stands using factory lift points and procedures. Then begin by removing the lower engine splash pan. This is held in place by several T25 Torx bit screws. Locate, loosen, and remove the transmission drain plug, allowing the ATF to drain into a suitable waste oil drain pan. This is a 5mm Allen drain plug. Once the transmission drain plug has been removed, you will need to locate the drain plug fluid level insert. This is recessed up inside the transmission pan drain plug port. The drain plug level insert is a 5mm Allen. As you're removing the drain plug level insert, you will allow the remaining ATF to drain from the transmission pan into a suitable waste oil drain pan. Once the fluid has drained, reinstall the drain plug. This will minimize fluid spillage during pan removal and cleaning. Now you can remove the transmission pan. This is held in place by several 10mm bolts. Begin by loosening all the transmission pan bolts. Once all the bolts are loose, remove all the bolts except two at opposite ends of the transmission pan. Lastly, remove the two bolts left while supporting the pan. In most cases, there will be a small amount of ATF still in the pan. A 09G style transmission pan has 8 bolts total, whereas a 09M style transmission pan has 9 bolts total. Remove the transmission filter. This is held in place by 3 10mm bolts. You can now remove the old transmission pan gasket from the transmission pan. Clean the transmission pan and the transmission pan magnets of all dirty ATF sediment. The magnets are located inside the transmission pan. Always note the transmission pan magnet locations and return them to the original location after cleaning. This is best done with lint-free rags, a parts washer, or brake cleaner. Clean the transmission pan gasket mating surface on both the transmission side and the pan side. Make sure to remove all old gasket material and corrosive buildup. Be careful not to dirty any of the transmission internals and only use lint-free rags. The 09G or 09M transmission filter seals to the transmission by a rubber or cork material which could leave buildup. It is a good idea to check for this buildup and clean these gasket mating surfaces to allow for a proper seal of the new transmission filter. If a good seal is not made, this could cause transmission reliability and longevity problems. Be careful not to dirty any of the transmission internals and use lint-free rags. Install the new transmission filter and evenly torque the 3 10mm mounting bolts to 7 foot-pounds. On a clean bench top, insert the transmission pan gasket spacers into the gasket. Next, install the transmission pan gasket onto the transmission pan, closely aligning the mounting holes. Reinstall the transmission pan with gasket onto the transmission. Align the transmission pan mounting holes and install the 10mm mount bolts. First, tighten the mounting bolts evenly to a hand-tight torque. Next, evenly tighten the transmission pan from one side of the transmission pan to the other, torquing the bolts to 7 foot-pounds. Reinstall the transmission fluid level insert using a 5mm Allen into the drain plug port. Leave the insert snug and do not over-tighten as this is made of plastic. Hand-tighten the fill adapter onto the transmission pan. Once the fill adapter is installed, slide the fill hose on as pictured. Slide the loose end of the fill hose up in front of the transmission and connect it to the fluid bottles as described in the supplied instructions. Connect the hose to the ATF bottle as also described in the supplied instructions. Allow around 2.5 liters of ATF to flow by gravity into the transmission. As fluid is being fed into the transmission, start the vehicle. With the brakes applied, shift through all the gears of the transmission while the engine is idling. Allow 5 seconds for each gear selection. While the engine is in park and idling, continue to gravity feed the ATF into the transmission. This will allow several more liters to flow into the transmission. Allow all 5 to 6 liters to flow into the transmission and then remove the fill adapter and install the drain plug. To allow for a quicker flow of ATF into the transmission, you may use ATF pump tool number J91001. As the engine is idling, plug the Rostec diagnostic software into the OBD2 port and begin to monitor the transmission fluid temperature. Using the Rostec, first select Control Module, then select O2 Auto Trans Control Module, then select Measuring Blocks 08, finally select Group 006. Displaying Group 006 in Field 1 will allow for an accurate ATF temperature reading. With the vehicle level, allow the transmission fluid temperature to warm between 35 and 45 Celsius. At this temperature range, a little transmission fluid should begin to flow out from the port level insert. When this happens, the proper ATF level has been achieved. Reinstall the 5mm Allen drain plug and torque it to 12 foot-pounds. Once the proper transmission fluid level has been attained, turn the engine off and exit the Rostec diagnostic software and disconnect the OBD2 plug port. If no fluid drips from the fill port, proper level has not been achieved. Reinstall the 5mm Allen drain plug, turn off the engine, and allow the transmission to cool below 30 Celsius, and repeat the transmission fluid level process per the previous recommendations. Reinstall the lower splash pan with a T25 Torx, and remove the vehicle from the automotive lift or jack stands using factory lift points and procedures. As the nation's leading independent Audi and VW specialist for over 25 years, Blauparts recommends changing your VW automatic transmission fluid every 30 to 60,000 miles to extend the service life of the transmission. All of BLAU Audi VW transmission fluid filter change kits feature OEM quality German components and Audi VW ATF fluid made by Ravenol in Germany. Ravenol transmission fluids contain proprietary additives that offer unique profile characteristics specifically formulated for your transmission. To purchase the Audi VW transmission filter kit explained in this video, or for more information on Ravenol German-made transmission fluids, click the links in the description below.